One of the venues where jazz was born, known as Perseverance Hall, still stands on a residential block of the 7th Ward in New Orleans. Since 1950, the building has been home to the Holy Aid and Comfort Spiritual Church of Eternal Life. But in 2021, Hurricane Ida destroyed the back end of the structure. Now, Pastor Harold Lewis is working with preservationists to stabilize it and plan its return.
We want people to be able to come in and relax and enjoy themselves in the Lord. And that's not just for church services. There's so many other things the church could be open for. You know, it's like if we get this back, you know, there's plays and everything else that could be performed here. So it's not. I would like to think of it as a church, but a neighborhood facility that it can be used for more than just one thing.
The hall's been a community asset since it opened in 1880 as the headquarters of the Perseverance Benevolent Mutual Aid Association. At a time when Black people were denied mainstream insurance, members of the association supported each other, paying dues in exchange for medical and burial benefits. The association also hosted dances and rented the building to other Black organizations in need of event space. In the early 1900s, these gatherings included bands playing the earliest strains of jazz. Bandleader Buddy Bolden was at the cutting edge, improvising flourishes on his cornet with a swinging feel. His group is regarded as the first to play jazz, and they did it at Perseverance Hall. So did the band led by Joe King Oliver, whose bluesy style on cornet made him a hero to a young Louis Armstrong. Ultimately, Oliver helped launch Armstrong to national fame. Clarinet and soprano saxophone virtuoso Sidney Bechet also played at Perseverance Hall. He was one of many musicians who lived in the neighborhood. Duke Ellington called him the very epitome of jazz. Since the hall was built before amplification, bands played on an elevated platform to project their sound over the crowd. This was their point of view as they performed in the back of the house. When Pastor Lewis started leading the church, an elder member shared the building's history with him.
The building was a dance hall. And as he was a teenage child, he would climb through the windows and put sand on the floor for to do the sand shuffle. And I thought that was like, what? They would come in and put sand on the floor so they could dance. And that was in the 40s and 50s. And I thought that was tremendous. I never even knew about that.
Another elder gave him a different kind of record.
What she did, she wrote the history of the church in the tambourine. So it's 7 pastors before me that's been pastor of this church.
The church's next chapter depends on finding support for its recovery from Hurricane Ida.
It is my sincere hope and belief that people are going to come through.
Pastor Lewis is working with a contractor to brace the roof, right the walls, and reconstruct the missing parts to match the historic ones. He plans to rebuild the elevated bandstand himself and make the space available for community events, like the original Perseverance Hall.
I believe that if as a neighborhood, that we need places like this to survive.